This is what we're moving towards now. That's what we've now basically moved into. In Hebrew, it's Shin. In Korean, it's also Shin. This is like God's house. It's like back on earth. This is earth, this character right here, earth, and then this is the symbol for God. So God on earth. And these are the symbologies of it, right? You could see it as these different Yahweh with the Shin in the center, which becomes Yeshua. In Sanskrit, it's Guru, right? Ru and Gu. Guru is just light coming from darkness. In mathematics, it's the Euler number. It's golden ratio, pi and Euler. And together they make a symbol that looks like one, O-N-E.
Sure.
Consciousness is genius at leaving us these kinds of things, right, that we can figure out.
Scattered clues everywhere.
It's scattered clues literally everywhere.
All the way up.
And it's incredibly beautiful and mind-boggling that it's like that, but it is. And it's intense. And the last thing I'll show you is this. I'm going to find another picture of it, which is good. So you're quite right. So the things that you're basically channeling are exactly related to this. You just didn't necessarily know. So here's the Shen, right? So divine balance. This is the Alpha and Omega. So Alpha on this side, here's the A, here's the Omega, but it's Alpha Chi Omega.
This is why you called it the Chi. Yeah.
And
it's
this
ruled
is
by Mercury.
Achievement of the balance. The copper, the subconscious mind, the darkness, the feminine is Venus. Taurus is Alpha. Aleph means bull.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And then finding the diamond heart within is the Philosopher's Stone. Shen is described as our spirit or higher consciousness, the most valued of our three treasures, Jing, Qi, and Shen. Shen reflects our higher nature as humans. It is exemplary of the love that lies in our hearts, whose qualities include compassion, kindness, generosity, acceptance, forgiveness, and tolerance. It manifests as wisdom, and its strength or weakness informs our capacity to carry broad perspectives and understandings of our lives and others, to rise above the polarities of good, bad, right, and wrong. It is our spiritual radiance that it's at its strongest and can help cultivate a non-discriminatory, non-judgmental awareness needed to become wise, resilient, and powerful. Because Shen resides in our organ of perception, intuition, and expression, the heart, it deeply affects our ability to be guided in the right direction in life. It affects how strongly we are guided by intuition or misguided by hurt, stress, anxiety, and pain that remains unexpressed in the heart after traumas.
I feel like this has come full circle. This is the authenticity piece. I do wonder if, at the moment there are parts of us that are out of sight that we need to proclaim in order to step fully in.
We have to be able to see our dark, accept it, and love it. And when we do so, then our existence can become magical and beautiful. There's no limitation. The only limitations we experience are the ones that are self-limiting beliefs.
Exciting.
There's no other to fight against.
Yeah, that's what you said.
You are the other. We all are. You can't escape Earth by getting rid of all the bad aspects of Earth. The only thing that's going to happen if you want to take on deforestation as your challenge of life, you're only going to live in a world with more and more deforestation. The more you judge something, the more you create it.
So how do you address the issue?
You learn acceptance and stop trying to get rid of things in the world you don't like. And each one of those things that you're trying to get rid of has a seed of some knowledge and awareness that will trigger you within for the purpose of realizing that the separation is only illusory. You're not separate from that thing. You are that thing. These are aspects of you that you're unaware of, and you've purposely left yourself unaware because of experiences of shame and guilt. You decided, I am not that. That's why the name of God and divinity is recognizing that you are that. That's why it's there all along. I am that I am. The building of the persona is exactly the opposite. I'm not that. I'm not that. I'm not that. I'm not this. And then judging it at everyone else. Once you finally realize I am that I am, then you could transcend. Then you remember your divinity. Then you remember why you're here, that there were no mistakes and that everything was chosen exactly, meticulously, according to plan, for a beautiful divine purpose. And then the suffering transmutes. You know, Richard Rudd says, awakening is a series of softenings. I add to that transmutes pain into purpose. And turns lead into the gold of soul alchemy. That's the true alchemy, is when you can face any circumstance and just through your own perception decide this is the best thing that ever happened to me. It doesn't matter how bad it is. So we all can change through our own soul alchemy, our experience with things. We've all had experiences. This is the worst thing that ever happened to me, that became the best thing that ever happened to me. And that realization is God, knowledge, and wisdom. Death exists for a reason. We all are afraid of death. We all want to run away from death, but it's actually fundamental to life. And there's no such thing as death. That's the illusion. And we chose every single bit of it. So then people would ask, well, why would someone choose to be starving? Why would someone choose to be this? Why would someone choose to be that? Look, if I were a mountain climber, I would not be happy climbing the hill behind my house. I would want to take on Mount Everest. And if I knew that death wasn't real, I'd be like, look, put me in there. I want to try it all. Sure, the first 4 or 5 times I'd die making love to the love of my life. But then after that, I'd be like, I want to die in a fiery cataclysm. I want to be a James Bond villain. I want to be all these different things, and I want to experience every single thing, because it doesn't matter how we die, because we all die. The only thing that matters is how we decide to live.
Does that lead to part of your fascinations in terms of ancient civilizations and looking at all the different ways that we've lived in the past?
Oh yeah, for sure, because I'm like adding up all the different ways that I died. I want to know, what was it about that experience that led me to have this experience, and why did I leave things to myself through time to find?
Because you do
We
see it
think
that way.
the journey outside of us is a journey. We all say, oh yeah, well, the hero's journey is not a journey outside of you in the external world. It's a journey within. But then finally you realize, wait a minute, okay, yeah, it's a journey within. So I'm going to go and become a hermit, and I'm not going to go in the outer world around me, so that I can go back out in the outer world around me and then realize that, wait, all the places I'm visiting, all the things I'm doing are merely reflections of what's inside of me. Because it's a you-inverse. It's not a universe. Every person you meet, every circumstance you encounter, every place you go has significance and meaning when you understand that they are all divine communication from the other side of you. And those communications come to you in the form of synchronicities. And those extreme synchronicities come in the form of miracles. And then you start realizing that faith can actually move mountains. And you start realizing, wait, I now have new spiritual gifts of telepathy, and I have new spiritual gifts of telekinesis. And I always had them. They were just like a software that was grayed out. Then there's a functionality. You see the functionality, but it's grayed out. You can't really actually press it until you believe that you can.
And that's all it takes to bring it online.
That's all it takes to bring it online. Becoming aware of it is 9/10 of it. In a matrix of mind, it's only awareness that changes everything. Because there is no physicality. There is no reality. It's all a function of our mind space.
Hey there, Inspired Evolutionary. If you absolutely loved this, well then here's a full conversation with this guest on the Inspired Evolution podcast. Check it out now.